Welcome back, guys. This is Val. In this video I'm going to be reviewing the Mystical Island Cave 16K HDRI Epic Skydomes by the Philosopher. And one thing we kind of cannot get enough of is beautiful HDR maps for our Ivory renders. And this looks very promising. I love the setting. I'm a huge fan of all kind of water-ish island stuff and so forth. And so looking at this, I mean, it just looks gorgeous. And it has this volumetric light cube and water ripple effect. And it looks cool, right? So let me get... Alright, so let me take this for a quick spin and see what's happening. So first of all, the package is 881 megabyte uncompressed and 1.01 gigabyte unzipped. All right. And so upon looking in the runtime folder, there is not a lot of textures. Like it's basically two versions, one called R, 8K and 16K, and then we got 8K and 16K on the V version as well. Then there is some water ripple effect and so forth. So there's not a lot of textures going on, but the beauty comes in here. Here we have the main loading icons, and we have all these 8K, 16K versions. We got the water ripple effects in different intensities, and we got the volumetric light cube, which is awesome. So inside Dash Studio, what we can do here is go to the usual light presets we would think or assume, because it is kind of a light preset, but it's nowhere to be found in here. So I kind of think this is a little bit awkward, because you have to indeed go into the Environments tab. All right. Then we have the Epic folder over here. So I'd love that to be in the light presets like everyone else is placing their maps. I just dislike this kind of thing happening at DAZ, that some people place their sets in the Environment tab, some place it in the Props tab, some place it somewhere else, and it's just a horrible thing to experience this stuff all over the place. This is a light preset, so I'd love that to be there. At least what's handy is to include them in multiple locations. Okay, I get it. It has water and so forth, so it is more kind of like an environment. It could be seen like that, but mainly it's a light preset, it's an HDR map. So I'd love that to be included in the light preset section as well, because all the dimension theory here, Cake and Bob are placing their stuff here. So it's just confusing to not have HDR maps at your disposal in the normal light presets folder. Even so, speaking of which, we should have an HDR folder, HDR maps. Instead of light presets, right? Light preset can be something else. So it is a little bit confusing. Having that said, let me go back. Let me go back to environments. There we go. All right, so let's load the 8K version of the R. And here we have some kind of volumetric cube going on. And let me just switch on the video preview. There we go. And we got a sample camera included, which is great. So this cube is creating this volumetric light effect, which is beautiful, right? Looks awesome. And I mean, this scene looks just gorgeous. Right now I'm just orbiting the camera around. Right click here. Looks beautiful. That's freaking awesome. I just love this stuff. Because this is a HDR map, it's kind of limited how much you can move it, the camera, so to speak, right? But it has a water. So if you expand it here, you got water ripples, all right, and your object here, which is kind of handy where you can place, you know, it's kind of like a placeholder for where you should put your object if you want it in the water. I think that's kind of cool. So we got some sun effects here as well on top of things. And so let me load the other one. So this one is the, let me remove everything. And awesome, let's load the other one. So here we go, the V version. And we've got sample camera here. And it's basically slightly lower sun, okay? It's the same set, but the sun reaches a little bit different, in a different manner, different way. So let me load the other one once again, so we see the clear the difference. The sun is slightly different, but it's the same set, just the sun has a different height and position and look and so forth. So the shadows look different, the lighting looks different. And now when we just load a character into the scene, let's do that real quick. Let's go to people. Let's go to Genesis 8 female and characters. And let's just load Brita to our scene. And let's check out the shadows, how they fall. So our model is loaded, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of quick clothing on her. Brita, and we're gonna go to one-piece swimsuit and a little bit of hair. Now immediately you can sense that the character is not really casting shadows here, right? We kind of feel what's going on here. There is no shadows going on. And you know, usually when I purchase an HDR map, I want the shadows to fall right away. I don't want to, you know, figure it out. So that's a minus for me. I don't like to figure out a product. I want to just load it and it should work straight off the bat. Let me add hair, just a really quick hair. Just add Charlene, click on Brita, and so forth. All right. So now with our model loaded in place, what I'm going to do is move our character just slightly and see what's going on here. So I'm gonna use here just real quick parameters, and I'm gonna move our model up front. Now it's still loading here, the scene or the model or hair, so I'm gonna just pause the video real quick. All right, perfect. And I'm just gonna move my character into the scene. All right. And a little bit to right. It's a little bit slow updating for some reason. Okay. So now, the lighting hits her kind of harsh, I think. It's, you know, not proportional to the rest of the scenery. I think it's way too intense, so it doesn't really match the character. I get it. It's a streak of light here, all that. But there is some soft shadowing going on her feet, but there is no shadows going on the ground. And looking at the environment, ground shadow is on, but the thing is, this very strong light comes from these spotlights, as we saw, right? Here, the spotlights. And spotlights don't cast shadows on the ground. They don't. So I think this is a really huge mismatch. I think the set is gorgeous, but it just doesn't work. I mean, where's the shadows? So I'm not happy with this at all, guys. Like I said, you shouldn't need to figure this out. When you load my sets, they have shadows on because that's what shadows are meant for, right? I mean, it just doesn't match. It doesn't match in intensity. It doesn't match in shadowing. So for me, this is a big letdown. And the thing is, like I said, spotlights won't cast shadow on the ground. We're talking about the ground here. So if you want to catch the shadows from the sun, you got to place a primitive, like a plane, underneath your character. that will then catch the shadow, as you can see, right? It's way too intense though, but the shadow is there on the ground, and we can just, for instance, tone down the intensity. It's way too overexposed, and then we are catching a shadow, but then again we don't have any HDR map no longer. We're just seeing the shadow being casted. So for me, this is a big letdown, and I cannot recommend this product. I would not recommend this product. Sorry guys. It looks amazing, looks gorgeous. It has some cool water effects, and it says your object in the water. Well, okay, I could have my object in the water. That's fine. But I don't want to have my object in the water just for the water, right? I mean, if this is just a product where I'm just gonna have my object in the water, for instance, let's move her into the water, then it's kind of limited to what you can do with the product, right? I can just parent my female to the dash studio is kind of stuck right now. There we go. And I want to just reset her position so she is on that object. And so now she is parented to that object. And that object is indeed an object, right? So that object will receive some shadows. But it's way far away from the camera. I mean, what is this, guys? I mean, it's like you have this gorgeous set, all right, but the only place where you can place the character is in the water, back in the scene, like 100 meters away. It doesn't work for me, guys. So I'm sorry, I cannot recommend this product. So that was my review of this. Looks gorgeous, looks stunning. If you want to place objects in the water far away, that works fine. But you know, having your character onto the main land here, that's where the action is happening. That's where I would love for my character to be. So I'm disappointed by this, guys. I would love, you know, for my character to be able to be on land and cast shadows. So guys, if you want to check this out, click the link below. As always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, please comment below. I'd love to hear from you. That's all for now. Have fun, and I'll see you soon again.